हरे कृष्णा। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, निताय चैतन्य की जय, परशुराम भगवान की जय, वामन देव की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, we are doing the chapter number 14, the three modes of material nature. This is very interesting and practical knowledge. Okay, here are some indicative information for us to find out which mode of material nature we are currently in. So let us find out from the verse number 10. So the verse number 10 goes like this. Rajastamascha Sattvam bhavati bharata, Rajasattvam tamaschaiva, Tamasattvam rajastata. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance, O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. You see, there is a competition that is going on within us. And what is that competition? Actually, it has got nothing to do with us, but we have accepted it to be us. So there are so many conflicts going on in all of us, but you see, all these conflicts are going on between the three modes of the material nature. They're simply trying to dominate each other. For example, you see, they say, right, there is a good dog and there's a bad dog within us. Sometimes there's a good dog that's saying some good things. There's some bad dog who's saying some bad things. So, there's sometimes they show in the movies, there is a good voice and there's a bad voice, saying, instructing, okay, conflicting information. Do this, no, do this, no, do this. So all these little voice things happening within our head, actually it has got nothing to do with us or with our original reality, that is being the soul. But unfortunately, we are in the material world and we are under the control of these three modes of material nature, and our mind, which is also made up of material nature, is affected by these three modes of material nature, and there is always dominance of these three. So sometimes sattva will dominate, sometimes rajas will dominate, sometimes tamas will dominate. So these are three modes of material nature, right? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And there's like a constant war of predominance between these three. Just imagine that, there are three territorial leaders, or you just imagine that there are three factions, okay, in one area, and they're constantly fighting with each other. And at one point of time, one of them becomes the king. So that is our position. So at some time, mode of goodness is dominating, sometimes mode of passion, sometimes mode of ignorance. So, but one of them has to be a winner always. It's not that, we can do it like, okay, all three of you just exist in peace. It's not possible like that. One of them has to dominate. So it cannot be 33.3, 33.3, 33.3%. That's not possible. So one of them has to dominate, and we can clearly see that. Just for example, right now, it's in the morning, okay, at the time I'm giving this lecture. Just now, like after the sunrise, couple of minutes after the sunrise. So it's in the mode of goodness, right? At least most of us might be experiencing mode of goodness. But again, that depends. Mode of passion will kick in as soon as, we remember the deadline. Like it's the time to catch the bus. It's the time to get ready and run. Okay, so the mode of passion will kick in. So, for example, if I tell you that, okay, forget it, today is a holiday, then the mode of ignorance will come, right? So forget it, relax. There's no need to do anything now. You see, these three modes of material nature, I just showed you a practical example. How suddenly the mind is switching from one mode to another mode to the other mode. So this is what happens all the time. And how do we decide which mode we will be in? It is actually dependent upon what you call as karma, or what you call as what we have done in the past life. Okay, past life, what kind of activities that we have done, it depends. And also it depends upon the present also, of course. There is past and there is present, both. So in the present, what are the kind of association that I have at the moment? For example, if I'm going to go to a, let's say, a sports final match, a very exciting final sports match, obviously I will come to the mode of passion. That is so obvious, isn't it? So it depends upon the association, where I am, which place I am, what I am eating, whom I'm associating with, all these things. And also in the past, also in the past life, what kind of food I have taken, what kind of dealings I have done, what kind of activities. So that is how the mode of the material nature is predominant. So the point is, one who is Krishna conscious can transcend all these modes of material nature. That's the best part. If you want to do it by your own, it's actually a lot of effort. So if you want to do it the regular way, let's say, that is like, sitting down, meditating, mindfulness, all those techniques that everybody talks about. If you try to do that, it's going to take a really long time. But Krishna consciousness is the fastest, the most effective, and the most powerful way to transcend the three modes of material nature. That's what we will see. That will be the verdict of Lord Krishna in the chapter number 14 also, that if you want to transcend the three modes of material nature, Krishna says, take to my devotional service. That's what Krishna will say in the 14th chapter in one of the last verses. So actually, if you want to understand God, we have to transcend these three modes. We have to transcend mode of ignorance. You cannot understand God in mode of ignorance. If you tell something about God to a person in mode of ignorance, person who is in mode of ignorance will not accept God. And will say there is no God. Person in mode of ignorance will say, I am God. Where is God? See, I am God. Show me God. This is mode of ignorance. Mode of passion, mode of passion may also say like that, So I am God. Or everybody is God. So or mode of passion may be in confusion. Yeah, there may be God, but I don't know who is God. For me, God is this. For me, God is, doing my duty is actually God. That I see God in my work. So some definition will come like that, some interesting definition. So that is mode of passion. So mode of goodness is when, you want to understand, you want to hear with an open mind, right? Okay, we have a Bhagavad Gita book here. Okay, Lord Krishna has given Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let me explore. Okay, let me listen with an open mind. Okay, who is God? Okay, Krishna is analytically explaining what is the meaning of Bhagavan, Ishvara, what is the meaning of soul, super soul, Prakriti. Okay, I realize, I understand. So somewhat, but when you come to the mode of Shuddha Sattva, transcend these three modes of material nature, that is when you transcend the three modes of material nature, you will understand God. Without transcending the three modes of material nature, we cannot understand who is God. So only when we transcend these three modes of material nature, we become eligible to hear these stories of Krishna. Or rather, by hearing the stories of Krishna regularly, we will transcend these three modes of material nature, where we will be able to appreciate the position of Lord Sri Krishna. So until then, we won't be able to understand who is Krishna. That's the problem. Okay. So now let us go to the next verse. There is one more verse that I wanted to cover today. So this is 14.11. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyat vivruddham sattvam ityuta. The manifestation of mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. You see, how do you find out now that which mode you are in? So far Krishna said, what are the characteristics of mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance? And he spoke about how each of them dominates others. But how do you practically know? For example, I want to know right now which mode of material nature I am in. I want to find out right now. If I have to find out, so here is a practical test that is given by Krishna. So the test is for Sattva Guna, it is if you are in mode of goodness, when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So there are 9 gates, Navadvare Pure Dehi. There are 9 gates, 9 holes within the body, 9 gates within the body. But here, especially, it is talking about the eyes and the ears. You see, our eyes and ears, what are they longing for? Just try to understand. Or you can say our tongue also. Just close your eyes and just try to imagine, what are my eyes seeking? What do I want to see? What do I want to hear? What do I want to eat? If they are in control and if they are seeking the knowledge of the absolute or the knowledge of the soul, so then they are in the mode of goodness. But instead, we see a lot of times our senses, they pull us. Is it not? When you see something, it feels as if like somebody is pulling us towards that sense object. Now we want to grab it. Just want to grab that sense object and have it. So that's what happens, right? So in the mode of goodness, we can hear the things in the right position. We can taste the things in the right position. So it's like, we become cleansed inside out. And there is actually symptom of happiness. We feel very happy, peaceful, satisfied. And you don't feel that craving. You see, the craving, if you get cravings, that actually is a symptom of mode of passion. Mode of goodness is the opposite, not the craving. It's the opposite of craving. So there is a lot of sense control. So even if you happen to see your favorite thing, now you're still not very attracted towards it, right? So that is mode of goodness. You see, these days the social media, I think they have mastered this 3 modes of material nature. So they know how to present sense objects in such a way that everybody can get pulled towards it, and you can spend some time on it. For example, I was hearing to one person speak recently, and he was asking some of the students, like, how much time do you spend on social media? So somebody said, actually, this is a very funny thing. Yeah, I remember it now correctly. So there was one Maharaj who had come, to Sakar Nagar. And there was a young boy who stood up and said, Maharaj, I don't have time for chanting. Then that Maharaj asked, how much time do you spend on social media? He said, around 8 hours. Then Maharaj said, 8 hours? You're spending 8 hours. And he said, you are spending 8 hours on the social media? What do you do? He said, YouTube, Instagram. You see, there's so much of shorts, so many things to catch up. He said, you see, this is what is mode of passion. You see, the social media exactly knows how to instigate the mode of passion by showing exactly what our senses crave for. What is our favorite topic, right? You see, that's the mode of 3 modes of material nature at work, right? When we switch on our mobile phone, all right? Okay, so the mode of goodness it's all about symptom of happiness. Mode of goodness is all about knowledge. Mode of goodness is about self-restraint, doing the right thing and not giving in to the senses. So this is the mode of goodness. So mode of goodness actually establishes us in a position to come to the position of Krishna consciousness. So we are doing Krishna consciousness, but we are not Krishna conscious yet. So to become Krishna conscious is something different. to become 100% Krishna conscious is a real goal, right? That's the getting the pure love of Godhead. So that's something that will come later. But we are trying to do Krishna consciousness so that we become Krishna conscious. So coming to Krishna conscious mindset means conquering the mode of ignorance. That is, I don't want to chant now. To mode of passion, to I want to do something else now. To mode of goodness, it's my duty to chant. To, come on, I want to chant. Okay, I like chanting. That is transcending the three modes of material nature. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Hare Krishna.